Hello my friends, John LaRuffa here with another Unbiased Unboxing, and in this episode I'm going to teach you the solo version of Hippocrates, and I will explain it, we'll play around, I'll show you what it looks like from a solo perspective, and then hopefully that will help you understand if this is something that you would like to purchase from that avenue, or if it's something you want to avoid. So let's go ahead and get to it right now. And as usual folks, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. So I want to apologize in advance for just a little stuffy nose here. This last week I recovered from COVID, which was lovely. And we'll just leave it at that. I was vaccinated and boosted and all that jazz, but as it seems it's still going around pretty hard, I guess. So I spent the whole week kind of making my way back to health. Either way, glad to be back, just a little stuffy. Let me give you an overview of what you're seeing here, and then we will go ahead. I will play a couple of rounds, and then I'll show you round 3 so you get an idea of what the game looks like in the midst of everything. So, whether you're playing solo or multiplayer or any number in between, you're always playing with all 4 components of the different player counts, because they are going to be removing things from the market in a fairly simple way, which is good, because there's a lot of market choices to be made. And basically what happens is, as you'll see, that when given the choice, they will always take the piece with the highest number that's available. So for instance, this piece has a number that says 62, as you can see in the bottom, okay? So if that one was one of the available choices and it was the highest number, they would remove 62, and they would maybe score some points for it, depending on what kind of piece it is. And it would just be out of the game. And they do that with the, excuse me, the patients. They do that with the doctors. They do that with the, everything that's basically up for grabs in this game. So this game is basically one giant puzzle. What you're trying to do is you are trying to get doctors who know how to treat with certain different, whatever you want to call them, medicinal components, medicines, maybe they're balms, whatever you want to say, I can't remember. So they know how to treat with those things, and you've got patients who need a certain combination of those to be healed, and that's what you see over in all these spots. And the patients basically will pay you, they'll bribe you if they've been out there for a while, but they'll pay you for your services, and then you get, fame for doing a good job, which is the points. But you also gain renown by healing more and more people. And the more renown you get, the cheaper the doctors are to pay. You can also do different things, like buy different things in the market, which I'll show you there. The different things are basically batches of these. You can employ different doctors. And you also will, if you do both of those things in one spot, you can get some bonus tiles that can help you score well. It is a sort of beat your own score game, but not really, because even though you're playing for your high score, these other 3 solo opponents will also score. But I read someplace that the median scoring from them is about 62. In the games I've played, I've had some that were a little bit over and some that are a little under, so I can see that. Also, one of the things that should have come in the box, and a lot of good things came in the box, but should have come in the box, which didn't, is a round structure. It's all in here, and it's fine. It's not hard to follow. It's just that I found myself constantly flipping through the pages just to make sure I was doing all the steps. So I want to give a shout out to moslysolo.net, who over here on Board Game Geek, that made a very simple but effective round overview. So it just makes it a lot easier to play it. Just follow the steps. So without any more, I will stop. I'll advance the game a little bit and then come back and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so here we go. We are on the 3rd round now. And you can see the turn tracks. I'm lagging behind. Excuse me. So the AI are putting up a good fight. I'm lagging behind, so we'll see what we can do to catch that up. So the first thing we do is we look at the turn order. It's depicted by how these columns are laid out, and you'll see how that moves as it goes. So I'm going to roll the dice, okay, and then we put these where they belong color-wise. This is the one confusing color right there. That really doesn't match. Don't know why they made it that way. Every other color seems to be pretty good. So, looks like those are the doctors, or the patients, pardon me, that are going to be available. Yellow's going to go first. He's going to find the one that has the highest number. There it is. Yellow is going to pick them up. It's going to score the 4 points on the card right there, plus do any of the movement of the reputation track over here or any points over there. So he gets 4 points, and then we discard him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next comes purple. Purple looks. Purple finds 60. 60 is the biggest one. So scores 1 point for the space, gains a reputation, and then scores 2 points for the actual patient itself. Now we come to me. What am I trying to do here? So I'm trying to look at the doctors I already have so that I can complete their contracts, get them to flip and score. So I need something that has purple, purple and blue, blue and green. So that's what I've got going on. And I'm very tight on cash. Cash is really a tight commodity in this game. And that's actually part of the good part about it, I think, is that it feels like this game is very tight. It is not loose. You've got the turn order is extremely important, and the resources are very tight. Otherwise, this game wouldn't feel nearly as compelling as it does, but I like the tightness. All right, so enough of the tightness. Let's figure out my choice here. I think what I'm going to do, I like that I'm going first over there, but I really need to turn a simple purple. I've got purple over here. This guy gives me a bunch of money, and they get some money there. So I'm going to actually go to this spot right here, take him, so I get $7, which I'll need, or 7 drachmas, and then I have to lose 2 reputation. But I get this guy, put him in my area, being ready to treat them. Okay, now we come to red. Red looks for the highest number. That's a 26, 21, 17. It's going to go to 26. Going to go down 2 in the reputation track, but score itself 4 points here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's gone. And then finally, yellow is going to take number 21. Okay, also going down 2. So yellow is really going down in the turn order, almost to the point where they're not coming back up. Scores 3, 1, 2, 3. And you know what? I just realized you may not be able to see the scores on the bottom. They're off the camera. I apologize. It's just such a long board. But basically, I'm trailing by about 10 points to the third place, 11 to the fourth place, and then about 14 to the first place. So I say that for, I should have meant second and then first. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, we're square there. We just moved up yellow the 3. And then we roll again. So after we roll once, we put these to the top there and do this 3 times where we welcome patients. Now, if you welcome a patient, but there is no patient there, you just get whatever's on the board. And sometimes that's important because patients are how you score points. But if you overdo it, then your patients may not be able to be healed by you and then could die and then lose you points. And, well, you don't want that. Okay, so now purple is in the first choice position. Purple is going to take the 59 right here, losing one of those, gaining 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Red is going to choose the 55, and it's really frustrating because I want to choose one of those. It gives me 3 here, but I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to make sure my turn order is in a good spot next time to pick up that one. So 2 points there. Loses 2 on the track there, but gains 2 points. All right, then it comes to me. So like I said, I want to make sure I'm choosing first. To do that, really going to need to look at this one here. Now there are some tiles that you could get, some assistants that help you cross dice around and move things, or even take from the top of the pile. And you get those by placing on this or that column. But I don't have any of those right now. So I am going to pick this guy up just so I could choose first next time. But also 3 purples, not the end of the world. I have people who need purple. So I get 1 immediate point, $1, which is always good, and one on the reputation, which will make my doctors cheaper, which is good news since I have 3 of them. So there's my second person that I've agreed to treat. Finally, yellow picks this guy right here because he's a 9, and that's the highest out. Oops, I'm sorry. 22. 22 is the one over there. It escaped me. All right, so 22, you're going to see 7 points for yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So really got a lot of points off that big one. So I misspoke before. It's not really beat your own score because you could take into account some of those big juicy cards and try to deny them from the opponent so they don't score as much. If you play it safe and take the smaller stuff, they're going to probably take the bigger stuff. That's going to make it so that they score higher. So ignore my beat your own score comment earlier because it really doesn't necessarily need to be that way. You could play defensively, but it also increases your risk. It makes it tougher for you to do what you want. So we're done there, and then finally, one more roll of it all. Okay, so this one's over here. The black is on 1, that's lucky, so I don't have to worry about not being able to snag it. But more of these now are pointing to spots that don't have anybody in them. And the artificial opponents will choose those after they've exhausted any other spots. Like I said, I got to go here. I want to go here because not only does this give me the $2, but I have a bonus tile from a previous round that says when I welcome. Pretty sure that's welcome, but let's make sure. Yeah, when you welcome a patient from that spot, you get the 3 purples, which is good because I have a guy who needs 3 purples. So those bonuses are really, really helpful in doing better at this game. But the only way to do it is to have a lot of cash to be able to buy a doctor and an order of medicines at the same time. So you have to make sure you have enough money to be able to pull that off. Oh, and when I did that, I do get this purple assistant disc. So now purple goes, and we've got just a couple of these left. Oh, I keep doing that. Okay, no, but that's fine because that's empty. So he's going to choose 8, and 8 is going to move purple up to reputation, score him 5 points. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then finally we've got, I shouldn't say 5, because we have 2 more. Yellow's going to go next. Yellow is going to go pick up 2 points. And this guy, and then red is going to pick up. There are no more guys open, so they're not going to get any more guys. They're going to go right to this spot here, and they're going to get the 1 point from that plus the 1 point over here, or 1 reputation. And that is the full welcome the patients phase. Okay, so we've welcomed everybody. Now we receive the payments for them. So they pay you how much they say in money here, which in this case is $15 in total. So I get the $15, pardon me. And then, now I pay my doctors. So I have 3 different doctors. I look up here and see what category I'm in. I'm in 2. So I only have to pay them $6. And that can really add up. So it's good to try to keep that in this spot if you can. So every dollar counts here. Okay, so now we then look and see, do I want to hire optional doctors? So in turn order now up here from right to left, we get the opportunity to hire these doctors before we hire from the general supply. Now let me see if they're worth my time here, because I don't think I'm going to need these specific ones. They are a green and a purple, but I have all that squared away here. I've got some excess, and I'm going to have to buy a doctor probably anyway to try to get a bonus, so I'm going to say no to that. So then purple is going to hire the highest point doctor, and they're going to hire him for free because it's the AI, and they're going to score 1 point for each contract that they could fulfill. So that's 3 there, followed by red, same deal, there's 3. Even if there's multiple icons, there's 3 points right there. So the optional doctor hiring is over. Okay? Now we flip over the regional doctors to see what we have for our options. Oops, okay. So here's the way this works. If you buy the doctor, that's it. If you buy the order from the store, that's it. But if you buy both of them, you also get the bonus tile. You do it in this order. And again, turn order is really important because when you're first, you get the whole pick of the litter. If I was in the middle or last, most of these choices would be gone because when they buy it, they buy the whole column. So they wouldn't help me out at all and make it tight. So that's why I was really happy to get out ahead here, give myself a little more commanding position. Now, like I said, the doctor I really need probably here is, I don't really know. So I'm going to forget the doctor. I'm going to look at the reagents. So I've got plenty of purple. I've got the 5 purple I need. I just need green really. So maybe I should do this. Maybe I should get this guy right here. We're a lot of points. That'd be $17 plus this guy right here is one of these that you can just plug in and heal pretty simply for 1 green. So this actually really works out well. I'll show you how that goes. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to buy this for 17. And it's going to give me the doctor. It's going to give me the potions. And it's going to give me this bonus. Now you immediately collect the potions you need. I know they're now, some of these are potions, some of these are something else, etc. But you get what I'm talking about. The healing agents, the building blocks of trying some useful medicine. Okay. So then, purple is going to buy the one with the most numbers. So he's going to buy this one that's going to give him 2 points. And basically that just gets rid of the doctor and all of this. Then red is going to buy number 19, get 2 points. So long. And finally, yellow is going to buy number 8 and get 3 points. Okay, it's going to leave 2 left over. We're going to discard these because no one's buying them. And then these doctors will actually shuffle up into this optional area for the final round. No other doctors will come out. Those will remain vacant. And this will be all set up for the next round. Now, I go ahead and do my little mini game here of healing. So first, we take only patients we can completely heal and we put them into this area, okay? So we have to connect them based on the icons that are shown that they will be able to heal with, okay? And you can't repeatedly treat the same thing, so you can't game the system, but you can see the nitnoids of that in the rules. It's not that big of a deal. But basically what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to hook this guy up here with the purple over here to this person. I'm doing that so that they fulfill both their contracts, they will score. Here's 3 of these. Then I'm going to hook up this person with 2 purple to this guy. And this guy can do a purple and a blue, but it doesn't matter if it's just the purple. That's okay. Still all right to do that. Like I said, he can kind of overdo it, right? Then I have this guy who is blue and green. Well, I only have 1 guy for green, so I'm going to use him over here, but I still need a blue. So to do that, I'm going to adapt, or I'm going to attach this doctor right down here, the blue-purple guy. Spin this around, so we get that, right? And so that, I get the green from him, the blue from them, and we are good to go. So I have a little excess doctor over there, it's all right. Unfortunately, I don't have, excuse me, another green slot for this bonus guy, but I'll find a way to do that near the end of the game. So, let's make sure I could pay for everything by plopping my healing reagents and potions, etc. on everybody, and it looks like we are in good shape. So then after we've done that, everybody's connected, then I go ahead and I move any patients that were still here down in the emergency room. Now, if they didn't get treated next game or next round, they would go here, they would die and lose 3 points. I'm going to get 1 reputation for every guy I treated. I treated 1, 2, 3 patients this round. So it's going to be 3 more reputation. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to score points for the doctor or the patients that I treated. So this guy gives me 3, this guy gives me 3, this guy's giving me 3. That's 9 points, okay? So we flip them over. And I get 9 points. Then, whichever doctor has completed all their contracts, in this case, this person had 2, so they're complete, so they score me 6. They're out of the picture. I can discard these. And no, Hippocrates still is working on it. Or Hippocrates, however you want to say it. Anyway, so this guy is all set to go. So he's good. So he's going to come out. I leave that there showing I still need 1 more for my buddy there. But this guy is good, so that's 4 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this point in the game, with 1 round left, I'm sitting in 3rd place, which I think is good. It's competitive. We'll see if I can hold on to that for the end of the game. So that is the entire round. Now, the last thing you do is you move this up, and you will then put coins on these non-taken cards, making them worth a little more if you were to take them next round. And then we fill in the blanks. And we are then ready to play the final round and finish the game. So you can see this game is pretty procedural, which is, again, why it's helpful to have that little cheat sheet here. This really just makes it easy to follow the instructions and do it versus flipping the board. But it's not that complicated at all. This game, I would say, is a medium weight game, definitely not complex, but tough decisions because things are so tight, and there is a lot to consider. So while the depth of the rules and how to do things isn't all that tough, the breadth of what you've got going on can be a little exhausting maybe for some players. I don't mind it as much, but it's good to have all those choices. So I wouldn't say this game is just it's an obvious choice every time. There's just too many variables to make it an obvious choice. And because you're trying to work on both the turn order, the money, the bonuses, etc. Excuse me. I would say that the choices are not obvious, which is a good thing, which is definitely a good thing. So let me go ahead and bring it back, and I'll tell you what I think about it from a solo perspective and from the game in general. There you have it. That's Hippocrates. So the way this game works is pretty simple, right? There's not a ton of new ideas here, but yet the way they package it together, I think is pretty good. I like the fact that you have a ton of different choices, even though there's not, well, I say choices, yes, options, no, right? The game is, I've heard people say it's repetitive, and yes, it is, but there's only 4 rounds, and I'm okay with that procedural game. It's like saying a Lacerda game is repetitive. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you do the same things over and over, but I wouldn't say it's a boring game by any means. But I could see it could, pick your poison as far as your flavor is concerned. I personally like this game a decent amount. I would put this kind of in that middle upper enjoyability category from a solo standpoint. I like to play it when I want to fully understand what the game is, not have to really look up the rules. Just play something that's going to be a brain challenge, but not something that's going to be all this nitnoid little stuff that I got to remember this and that and that and this. As you could see, the AI was extremely easy to use, extremely easy to execute, but it also was very competitive. So in that game I showed you, I lost. I came in 2nd place. So the top score was 69. I was at 65, and there was 2 55s. And so the reason I did well, though, in this game as compared to other ones is I really focused on turn order, which gave me a lot of options, and I was able to use those options to be in better shape for better choices. And that's what this game is really all about. It's about having the right choice, making the right choice at the right time with the options you have, and having enough options available for you to do that. So you're not stuck with suboptimal plays or suboptimal choices because you let yourself get too far behind in the turn order and those other ones were taken up on you. Like I said, you can play this defensively a little bit. Looking at, I mean, you know what the AI is going to choose based on the highest number, so you'll see what they're going to do. It doesn't mean that you should always block them, because then if you take on too much of a patient load with too many requirements, yeah, you'll score a lot, but you might have a very difficult time treating them all. So I do like that intricate balance of money versus the turn order versus, you know, spending it at different spots to make sure the right doctors are the right patients. I think that's pretty good. I think the fact that the game is not anything novel. So if you're looking for novelty, I don't think you're going to find that here, right? I'd say the most novel thing is probably the way that the stuff interlocks into those contracts, and that's okay. It's a cool little spatial mini game, but it isn't like, oh, play this game because of this awesome little intricate puzzle aspect in one spot. That's not it. I think that this game will appeal to those people who really like tight economic games. I shouldn't say economic games because it's not like it's an economic game. A tight game with a tight economy, put it that way, where money is scarce and where the good decisions can really make a difference. You cannot just play this game willy-nilly and hope to score well. My first game, I remember being about 40 or 20 points lower than I am right now, just learning it, but just goes to show kind of like that skill level here. You can raise the difficulty level of the AI by having them score points, 2 points additional every time they pick from the second, the fourth, and the sixth column of patients. So that could ratchet things up nicely if needed. So far, I haven't needed that. I haven't beaten them yet, but I guess if I wanted to, you know, really put my brain to the test, I could do that. Now, I think the most compelling thing about the game is to try to see how can you score, you know, above the mid 60s and into the 70s and 80s, given the constraints. Because, I mean, they made the scoreboard go up to 100 on purpose. I think that well, I should say this: the new board goes up to 100. The original one doesn't. It goes to 50, I think, or at least to a certain amount, but not 100. And so the point is that I feel like you are playing a little bit against yourself to try to see, you know, not only can I beat the opponents, but can I really get a good score here, given the fact that there are a lot of interlocking pieces and mechanics of choices, and can I do something on that will really, you know, make things strong in my score. So I like that. I like the fact that you have to have a ton of money to be able to buy the doctor and the supply to get the bonus, which is really sometimes really important, really helpful. I never did end up using that one bonus of the patient. I couldn't figure it out at the end. I was just a little bit short on money from the doctor's standpoint, and ultimately I couldn't do anything with it. In fact, I had a doctor who didn't do me anything at all. This one, I got nothing out of him, so I wasted my money completely, which is too bad because they could have scored me 9 points. So I do think that's good. I think it's good you're trying to figure out what the future is going to hold, what you're going to need. You can't always wait to buy everything till you need it. You have to kind of speculate a little bit going forward, and I think that's cool. So I enjoy it. I can see that this may not be the cup of tea for everybody. If someone's looking for something really novel, this doesn't have it. If something is looking for something that has a ton of crazy options, this doesn't have it. The gameplay is pretty procedural. Okay, it's all about those choices. This is a game about tactical choices, and based on that, it's a very highly tactical game. There isn't a strategy where I could focus on this thing this time and this thing next time. This is a highly tactical puzzle where every time you're focusing on trying to maximize the interlocking pieces of your doctors and your patients, and that's what's going on here. So I like it. Search yourself, figure out if this is something you would like before pulling the trigger. I would not say it's a guaranteed buy because I think some people will like this type of game. Some people will just say, nah, it's not for me. But it is enjoyable. It's got a lot of, I think there's a decent amount of gameplay there. Will it stay in my collection forever? Who knows? It'll stay in there for a couple more plays at least. I'm definitely enjoying it while I'm playing it. But the expansion is supposedly on the horizon. We'll see what it ends up bringing. I'm a little hesitant to even think about backing anything right now on Kickstarter for all the world issues. So I'm not worried about that right now. We'll just see. Anyway, regardless, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, whatever you do. And stay safe out there if you can. Take it easy.